Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Outdoors with MSA. We are here today with Anthony Jones and myself, Jonathan Abernathy, and we've got a great episode lined up for you guys today. Oh, it just started. Anyway, welcome to another episode of Outdoors with MSA with Anthony Jones and myself, John Abernathy. We have got a great show lined up for you guys today. Here we go. So, Anthony, we're bringing in our guest that we had a few weeks ago on the audio-only podcast, Dan Dewitt. That's going to be a great talk later. Want to start off. So, Outdoors with MSA, right? That's not the actual name of our nonprofit.
Correct.
The nonprofit's name is actually Military Sportsmen of America. So, if you want to find us and join,
That's
go
right.
to Military Sportsmen of America Facebook page. Join up, invite that vet you know, invite that first responder you know, get them in, let us take them out on trips. Let us help them heal through the woods and just really escape the pressures that come with the job of helping others, putting others first. We just had 9/11, the 20th anniversary last weekend. Thoughts and prayers to all the families affected by that. And, that 9/11 may be the biggest recruiter the military has ever had. I know a lot of my friends joined just because of 9/11. I'm pretty sure it probably had a small impact on why I joined. What about you? Did it have any effect on why you joined the military?
I knew I was going to join the Marine Corps or the Army as soon as I was, old enough to walk, talk, and carry a gun. So that just emphasized it and pushed me more towards it.
Yeah, it's rough. But like I said, I think a lot of our peers joined for that reason. We're not going to dive too deep on that. What do we got? College football. Georgia won. They beat a crap team.
Yeah. I wouldn't say UAB is a crap team, bro. Because UAB, if you look, since they've came back in, 2014, they've won 3 conference championships. They've been to bowl games. I mean, yes, they are a lower tier FBS school, but they win their conference.
Yeah. But this is the SEC, and if they were in the SEC,
it's not ECU.
You don't fight today? Is that what we're doing? We're doing this today? We're fighting? I will reach this screen and smack you. You don't want this drama today.
Yeah.
No, South Carolina struggled pretty mightily against ECU. And I love ECU. I used to coach at ECU for the lacrosse team. Like ECU's, one of my favorite schools. And they don't have a bad football program. They sneak up on people a lot. But if you're trying to get back, and I get it, it's Shane Beamer's first year back in South Carolina, so it's going to take him some time to get his people in and all that. But that was rough. That was a hard one to watch. This weekend, you got like Alabama and Florida, South Carolina, Georgia. Iowa State is actually going to be a really good game.
That was last weekend.
Was it last weekend?
Iowa won. Yeah, Iowa won.
See, I'm behind. Dude,
Iowa State played like crap.
Really? I like Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the Rose Bowl.
I like them because they're big body. I mean, you know what Iowa's going to do. They've been running that same offense and same defense for 20-plus years.
Well, they're going to have offensive linemen. They're going to have tight ends, and they're going to have linebackers. It's what they do.
They're like Wisconsin,
Yeah. I actually went to the Rose Bowl a few years ago when Iowa played Stanford, back when Christian McCaffrey was at Stanford. And that was a good time. But what do you think? You think Alabama, or my dog's just everywhere right now. You think Alabama is going to just roll away with this Florida win?
I think if Richardson plays as quarterback for Florida, the game will be close.
I think he's hurt.
I still think Alabama will win. I think Alabama will win probably by 2 scores if Richardson plays. But if he don't play, I think it's going to be like a 47-3 type of game.
Yeah, I think Richardson's hurt. Last I heard, he's got something wrong with his handing or something. But yeah, if Emory Jones plays, I think they don't have
I think it'll be a blowout.
I'm gonna keep the talk to Georgia South Carolina game pretty short. I'm gonna go with a score. I'm gonna give it a very conservative score here. I think Georgia wins, but barely. My final score 40-9.
40-9. I'm gonna say 37-3.
37-3.
37-3. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, I could.
I think Carson Beck gets to come in and manage the offense in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I don't think you guys even start JT Daniels. I think y'all start Bennett.
Bennett's hurt.
Bennett. Yeah. Isn't Bennett hurt?
Yeah. Bennett's hurt.
All right.
He's got a back strain.
Does he? All right. So you went out to one of the properties we go to a lot, and we've talked about it before. Your little beaver problem you're having.
Oh, dude, it's personal, man.
It's personal.
It's going good. Yeah, well, I mean, they destroyed a property that we take vets hunting on. I mean, you know, you've gone on it, you've hunted on it with me, and it just destroyed it. So it's become a personal issue.
How many of you?
It's going all right. I mean, tomorrow I caught 3 in traps and I've shot 2. So 5 total.
3 in traps. So is this one that you sent me the picture of the biggest one you've trapped so far?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the biggest.
Look at that thing. That thing's a monster.
That one probably 30, 40 pounds.
That thing's gigantic.
It was big, man. I struggled to get it out of there.
You think it's the biggest one out there?
That's 30, 40 pounds. I think there's bigger in there. Yeah. No, really? I don't think he's the biggest. I think there's bigger. Oh, yeah. At least 1 to 2 bigger ones. I was talking to one of my trapper buddies, and he thinks that's a 2-year-old beaver. And he said that beavers, when they get 2 years old, are usually kicked out of the den. So either 1, that beaver was fixing to be kicked out of the den. 2, that beaver is the female, and there's still the male. So there's at least 1 to 2 beavers left, in my opinion. Yeah. And they're going to be bigger than that one.
So how
substantial?
How long do you think before new beavers move into that area and take over once you've gotten those out of there?
Well, with beavers, you know, they're there for a reason. It's quality habitat that they like. So it could be a year before some move back in. It could be 6 years, 3 years. It's only a matter of time before they come back.
Right.
It's not something that you'll always get rid of.
For sure. We skipped over this, so we need to go through and
just part of the process, man.
Yeah. We got to go through and do our sponsors real quick. Appalachian Custom Calls. Anthony, you take this. You do a lot more with them than I have. You tell everybody about Appalachian Custom Calls.
Veteran-owned company out of East Tennessee, makes the best turkey calls and has a new line of grunt calls out. They're super good quality. I should have went and grabbed mine before the show started. They sound amazing, but I can attest that they make the best turkey calls. I've tagged out 4 years in a row now since I've been running with Appalachian Custom Calls. I've called turkeys from Wyoming, Alabama, all over Tennessee and Kansas with Appalachian Custom Calls. And they're super affordable. Super, super affordable.
Camo Dust. This is one that I like a lot. We had them on the show not that long ago. And dude, I think it's going to be my favorite cover scent from here on out.
I look forward to it, man. I mean, I've enjoyed using it. I've noticed the difference. And then, you know, I'm not soaking wet. I like that aspect of it.
I like that I can take it to the stand and dust down while I'm in the stand. And while I'm dusting down in the stand, it's also a scent chucker. Right, we got VIP Broadhead.
I agree.
This was another guest we had on. If you're looking for a new broadhead, or you haven't been really sold on the ones that the big stores, give VIP a chance. I'm telling you, once you even get them in the mail without even shooting them, you're already going to be impressed. I mean, they're an impressive feat of technology that I don't see myself going with any other broadheads for the foreseeable future.
I love them, man. Another veteran-owned company. This one out of Texas.
Yep. The Reason, another great guest we've had on the show.
The Reason.
Go over there.
Another vet-owned company.
Yep. Go over there, show them your support. Go to his Instagram, join, follow, whatever you do with that. And then lastly, the one we have coming on today, Cuz's Rookum Juice. This guy, a wealth of knowledge, man. We did our test run yesterday with him, and I felt like I learned more in that 5 minutes doing that test run with him than I've learned in a long time.
Yeah. I mean, he's got good stuff, dude.
Yeah,
you know, pulls the nose. I mean, it really fully pulls the nose on the deer, man. You know, they think there's another buck in that area.
Oh yeah, I like it, and he's going to come on today.
When we finally go to some public land. Yeah.
Go ahead, bud. What were we saying about the public land?
When we go to some public land next week, here this week. Yeah, when we go to public land next weekend, you know, we should set up a rub line, a couple mock rub lines, end them with a couple mock scrapes, throw some cameras on them, and see what we can get, man.
I agree. So now that we've ran through the sponsors, we're still looking for that primary sponsor. If you know a company that wants to become our primary sponsor, get their name on the front of our shirt with our logo on the back of it, tell them to get a hold of me or Anthony, and we'll get that set up. All of that's going to go to help get that outdoors. So
yeah, and it's going to allow us to videotape the trips too.
Yes. So, you know, we've been getting a lot of views on our videos here lately, which is great. Love it. We need to get more people to go and like and join the Facebook page. So if you see this video and you yourself are not a vet, you're just watching it to support me because I'm such an amazing friend to all of you, or Anthony, tag a vet you know in it, or tag a first responder, be a cop, a firefighter, EMT, tag them in it. We'll take them out. Let them get some outdoor time, because that's a busy life, man. Them people don't get to go out as often as me or you.
And I agree.
We're just trying to help any way we can.
Well, I'm out in the woods. At least 3 times a week, you know. Not everybody has that opportunity. But when you have that opportunity and you do get to go out with us, it's a really good time.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna send this email out real quick. If you want to start talking about what are the best foods for a deer camp?
Dude, that is so tough because I've never done a deer camp. I'm so excited about this coming year's deer camp because it's the first one we've ever done. And I think we're going to do chili the first night, man. Something simple, something easy. Hopefully it'll be with some deer burger. Do chili the first night. Have a big fire. And maybe the second night, I don't know, do something simple like hamburgers, hot dogs, or something. Just keep it simple. I guess that's what you do at a deer camp. I've never been to one. How about you, John?
I mean the chili and all that is of course a great camp food. I think I'm gonna
do something like vegetable soup.
Yeah. No, I'm thinking about bringing maybe some deer meat that I have still from last year.
Yeah.
And putting that and cooking that over. I wouldn't say an open fire, but
it's gonna be a whole new experience. I mean, regardless, it's gonna be a good time.
So, I'm good now, man. I was sending that email out.
It's gonna. That's cool.
Yeah, I know you said you were thinking about sleeping in your truck or your car. I'm gonna bring you a tent, my guy. Which your car might actually be more comfortable than sleeping on the ground, but I've also got a cot. I'm gonna be living it up. I'm gonna bring the Taj Mahal out there with me.
Dude, I mean, it's not like we ain't ever slept on the ground. Are you?
I know. You say that, but you also have your Kevlar and your vest on, and for as uncomfortable it is to walk around in that, when you sit down and you lean up against a tree, they provide excellent support. I get some of my best sleep when I was in that gear.
Oh, Yep, me too.
I say best sleep, but it also could have been just pure exhaustion from being up and doing bullshit all the time.
Nothing like sleeping on a good gravel pile with a Kevlar and vest on,
Yeah. So in the Marines, how much range time did you guys like? How much time would you guys spend at the range in like a month, like a given month?
Well, my unit wasn't an infantry unit. We were a support unit. So, I mean, we didn't go to the range a whole lot until we were working up to deploy. And then it was a lot, a couple times a week. When I was on a MIT team, so I got transitioned from my unit to a MIT team. And we spent a week in classes. Or not a week, a month in classes, and then after that it was classes mixed with 2 months of solid range time. I mean, constant. I think we shot over 100,000 rounds in a weekend.
So
just 15
classes. Did the Marines have death by PowerPoint? Were you guys getting the "don't touch your buddy, don't let your buddy touch you" seminars like every week?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't really for that. It was more PowerPoints on IEDs, the language, the culture, the religion, just stuff to expect, radio talk, all kinds of it was an overwhelming depth of knowledge, man.
No, the Army was putting out PowerPoints on everything but that. Suicide prevention, sexual harassment. It felt like you were in the corporate world trying to learn how to not offend anybody, and we're just over there.
And that's probably why the Marine Corps is a more superior branch.
Says who? What? Show me any statistical proof.
Okinawa, bro. Iwo Jima.
D-Day, bro. Like I can name off old things too.
Marines were at Normandy before the Army was.
I have to fact check you on that one. Because
Go ahead.
so.
We helped the French resistance.
Oh. So would you help them surrender?
Cool,
or how'd that work?
Oh, come on.
Oh, we're not supposed to bring that up, huh?
No.
Yeah.
Did he get his invite?
Yeah, I sent him the invite. If you want to text him, let him know it's there.
Yeah.
And while you're doing that, do we have any fundraisers coming up? T-shirts, raffles, anything?
I think our chapters have a couple things coming up. Yeah, I think our chapters have a couple things coming up. I know the Tennessee chapter is doing a couple turkey shoots. I think the Massachusetts chapter is doing a small fundraiser for a goose hunt. I could be wrong on that one. The Michigan chapter is going to be raffling off a set of arrows with some VIP broadheads. Other than that, I think the Tennessee chapter is the only one doing anything. We're not doing another fundraiser until the end of November. And that is strictly for our turkey slam. You know, we did 30 hunts last spring. Goal this coming spring is 50. So we got a lot of money to raise, man. And so that's another part of the primary sponsorship. You know, is we're wanting to get cameras, and we're wanting to start videotaping these hunts and tell the stories of these vets and first responders that are going on these hunts, and give you guys something else to watch instead of just an hour-long podcast. You know, we can upload 1 to 2 episodes a week, then it's kind of hard to beat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we are going to start spreading these out a little more because the hour long it's an hour long, and we do this at 11 o'clock in the morning or 10 o'clock if you're.
Yeah. You know, I do like our hour-long podcasts. I really enjoy them and look forward to them every day or every week.
I look forward to it. I love it.
But I do like the thought of uploading content to tell the stories of these people who are, you know, that are going hunting, going fishing, how it's helping them heal. You know, so the successes and the failures of it. You know, not every hunt is a success. It's a success in different ways than just harvesting a deer or a turkey or a fish. It's a success in saving a life or a marriage or the relationship between a father or mother and their child. You know, that's what we're about.
Yeah, and I know in about a month we're gonna have that juvenile hunt come up. So if you're a vet and you're not really into hunting, but your kid has expressed some kind of interest, let us know. We'll get you both out. You don't have to even hold the gun. We'll have it set up for you.
Yeah,
the kid can. We'll have everything set up for the kid.
We got the places. It's a good time.
Dan text you back yet?
I don't know. Let me check. I need to upgrade this, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I like my setup. We got to get
you
set up a little
he's
bit.
On. It says that he's on. Yeah.
Let's see. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, there he is. All right, we're gonna bring Dan in.
Thank you.
What's up?
Mr. DeWitt, how are we doing today?
Man, don't call me Mister. Just call me Dan.
I All right.
I don't know what I just did, but I just lost the screen somehow.
Oh, well, you're still here on ours.
Well, we
Oh,
see
Lord, what happened? Let me see what happened. Oh, there they are. And if I touch a computer, things happen bad.
Right.
Yes,
You
sir.
doing
How we
okay
doing
this
today?
morning, Dave?
Yes, sir. Things are going good. Just getting rain on and off here in Baton Rouge.
It was
How
supposed to
bad
rain
was that
here today,
hurricane?
but it didn't.
Well, do what there, John?
How bad was that hurricane? Y'all doing all right?
Yeah. Thank goodness we didn't have no damage. Well, we had a little roof damage, but a lot of friends south and east of us lost everything they had or got tore up. And there's still probably 100-something thousand people don't have electricity. So, yeah, y'all keep those people in your prayers because there's a lot of people lost it all. Some of us didn't, but some of us did.
Right.
Well, if you can get us some addresses, we might be able to scrounge some things together and send them some care packages.
We can handle that. I tell you, there's a group of Southern Boys Outdoors. I lost count. That those guys just didn't even worry about their damage. They just went to help in their community. They fed over 20,000 meals in the first 10 days.
Wow.
Out of their store. They just brought in a bunch of cooking stuff and they started cooking and people started donating, and all their houses and their businesses and everything had been destroyed, but they just took care of the community. And I tell you what, I give a great shout out to Southern Boys Outdoors. They really went above and beyond the call for sure.
That's all.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, helping out the neighbors.
That's it. Charity starts at the house, doesn't it, fellas?
Oh, yeah. Nope. Not everybody.
Now, Jonathan, is Anthony still with us?
He might be frozen. He dropped his tablet earlier, and I don't know if he's got it right.
I'll tell you, technology, we can't live with it or without it, can we?
No, I think one of my favorite lines that I've heard recently is this: we have the most information at our fingertips that we've ever had as a race or a species, right?
Right.
But yet we are probably the dumbest we've ever been. If you have to put a warning label on gasoline not to drink it's a problem.
Yeah, it is. They showed pictures of people down here putting gasoline in plastic bags. Now, I mean, I know there's some desperate folks out there. But come on, man. You know, that's a little over the limit.
Oh, yeah.
I guess Anthony will get back in real quick, huh?
Yeah, I'm going to send him another invite here. I'm trying to multitask. If you want to tell everybody about your product and how it works real quick while I'm getting this in.
All right. Well, I've got a business, oldindiantricks.llc.com, and I have two products, Rookum Juice and Cooter Juice. And Cooter Juice is used during the rut, and Rookum Juice you use to make mock scrapes or to take over a buck. If you find a fresh buck scrape, spray some in it, spray on the limb, get ready. Put a camera on it. You will have action. There's no doubt about it. And I'm glad to partner with you guys. And I was hoping we'll wait on Anthony, but because we're going to let y'all, have that announcement today that we're going to partner with y'all, and anybody in the military or first responder that can go to our website. And there's a military application. You fill it out, and from that point on, when you order, you're going to get a 15% discount for our appreciation of what you've done for our country.
And we can't thank you enough for helping us out with that. With the 20th anniversary of 9/11 that just went by, that American spirit felt like it had been going down over the years, and hate to see that.
Yeah, I mean, there's nobody in this country that wasn't affected by 9/11 one way or the other. I mean, if you had a relative get killed, everybody knew somebody that knew somebody. And it's a shame that the patriotism in our country, it needs to be at a greater high. I agree with that. I mean, I think people really need to do. So we're going to try to do our part. Anybody that served, I don't care if you were a potato pillow in the Army. I don't care if you were the baddest SEAL team guy out there. We're going to show you appreciation and give you a 15% discount and use our products. And we appreciate everybody. And it goes for first responders also. Just go in and you can on on the website, look at the military application. And, a lot of people I don't know what group put this together, but it's a military ID or first responder ID application that you fill out. So people can't take advantage of it if they didn't serve. Like if I went in there and tried to fill it out, I don't have a military ID, I couldn't get it. But anybody that does is there can get it, and it puts it in the system, and it automatically gives them the discount every order they make.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Hey, welcome back, Anthony. Uh-oh. Are you back, buddy?
Oh, you're really low. I can barely hear you.
Yeah, my kid disconnected.
I can't hear him.
No, there he is.
I don't know why.
I hear you now. Welcome back. Welcome to your podcast.
Yeah, we can hear you, bud.
Oh.
So
I got to get used to which way to move in front of this camera. That's weird.
It is the complete opposite of what you would
I
think it
did
is.
disconnect the internet.
Do what, Anthony?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. I said my kid disconnected the internet. I have to go back and fix it.
All right. Well, you're back now.
Let's
I know you
let's
had
talk
some
about
questions
mock
for
scrapes,
Dan.
man.
Well, yeah, let's talk about mock scrapes. I personally like running them year round. It's a great way to inventory the deer that you have in your property, or even, and I do a lot of my testing, probably most of my testing I do on public ground. And if you can go out and get deer to come to a product on public ground, I think you're ahead of the game. And we've been doing that. We've had unbelievable results this year doing it. And also something I was discussing on social media this morning, Facebook, a couple other things too with people. I get a lot of predators, and I just made a post this morning about that, coming to my mock scrapes, and people go, "Oh, I'll scare the deer off." No, just the opposite. I love when a bobcat, a coon, a fox, a coyote comes and gets in my scrape, because if I can trick a predator, how much harder is it to trick a bobcat than it is to trick a white-tailed deer? I think it is. I think it's tougher. Now, that's my opinion, but I get excited when I get a picture of a bobcat, or like I got one picture of a fox. He's rolling all around in it. Got a picture of a coyote. He's all up in it. So to me, anytime I can trick any animal, I'm excited about it. Now, deer, they're very social. They come to them for a reason. A lot of people don't believe that they work them year round, but they really do. Now, they don't work them as active as they do during the rut or pre-rut, but they come. It's a social gathering event is what a mock scrape is. And another thing is, I want them to take it over and own it. I don't want to own it. I want them to own it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And the more and
Do
something
you ever
else.
use this stuff for what?
Do what? I can't
Can
hear
your
you.
mock scrape be used to make rubs? I said, can your mock scrape be used to make rubs? Damn.
I can't hear him, John.
He said, can a mock scrape be used to make rubs? Like if you were trying to make a rub line, can you use?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. You can go in. I look for when I'm in the woods. I look for old rub lines, and during the fall, when they start rubbing trees, I may rub one right down from them, and then spray some of my stuff on it just to intimidate them or to make them think there's another buck in the area, because that's what it's the attraction of another deer being there that they don't know about. They're social creatures, so they want to know, who's this intruder, or who's this new deer to their area. Deer are very territorial, so you're taking the psychology of that and using it against them. But yeah, absolutely, you can rub on trees for sure. I don't do it a lot, but I will. If I find a big buck rub, I'm gonna show it, because it's a signpost, is what it is. He's marking his territory, he's marking his trail. So add to the trail. It don't hurt. It definitely doesn't hurt. And if I find a fresh scrape that they make, I'm gonna spray my stuff in it. I'm gonna dig in it, throw leaves in it. I'm gonna do all kind of stuff to let them know another buck was there. Absolutely.
Now, as far as
what would throwing leaves in it do?
Do what?
He said, what would
throwing leaves in it do?
I used before trail cameras, I throw the leaves in them to let me know that, if let's say I checked it this afternoon and I throw the leaves in it and I put some scent in it. Well, you come back the next day and it's cleaned out. Guess what? That's how us old timers did it before trail cameras. Because he'll clean it out. If there's leaves back in his scrape, he'll clean it out. It was just a test of time for us before trail cameras.
Right. Okay.
So when you go out, what are the things you're looking for to put a mock scrape up? Like if you're walking around and you don't see one, what are the signs that make you think if I put one here, deer will come to it?
Well, if you want to put that, we might can get into the maps now if you want to. That map right there. The areas that I'm looking for are those saddles, and you see those 3 little circles. I think that map's got 4 little circles, actually, one way at the top and then 3 kind of in the center of the map. But anywhere a saddle crosses a ridge, I'm looking to put up a mock scrape because that's a natural crossing, a natural place that a deer will make one. So I look for rub lines in those areas, and if I don't, if there's deer in that area, you'll find an old rub line if you really look. You really will. You'll find that rub line. And then what you do is just set up a mock scrape. I like to find a limb about chest high to me. I'm 6'3", or maybe chin high to me, where a deer's got to stretch up just a little bit to rub on it, lick on it, sniff on it. And then I spray the limb, clean out the ground, and then make it look just like a scrape and spray it down, put a camera on it. We don't have to throw leaves in them anymore, but it's just something we used to do. But like on that map you got up right there, there's 4 defined saddles on that map, and each saddle has 2 entryways from both sides of the ridge. So that's a great place to start looking. But and you may know of scrapes that you found or know where they're at a year after year on the property you hunt. Go set one up right there, because believe me, they're checking it whether they're digging in it or not. They're checking it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we went and hunted this one property, and walking in the dark, sight unseen, I seen a scrape. So I set up, downwind of it. Set up on the wrong side. The buck came in probably about 50 yards further down away from it, stopped, wind checked it, and left. And
they love to wind check a scrape. That's why I hunt. I try to find the trail coming to the scrape. I mean, I like to be where I can see it, but typically they're going to do exactly what you just said. They're going to go downwind, check it. Also, if there's no wind, be conscious of thermals, because remember, thermals rise in the morning typically, and they fall in the afternoon. So in the morning, he's going to have to get higher up that ridge to smell that scrape off of the thermal if there's no wind than he would in the evening. Because in the evening, of course, the thermals are going to move the scent downrange or downhill. So absolutely. Always hunt the predominant downwind side. I hunt, like, let's say on this example here, you got a north and south predominant ridge that we're looking at on this map. I would hunt more than likely in the mornings. I would probably hunt the east side of that and on the south side of any of one of those saddles, simply because of the wind issue is where I would hunt. But there again, you got to see what the wind's doing, what the thermals are doing, and anything else that's going on, or whether there's other hunters in the woods if you're on public land. I mean, you know, there's a lot of things you got to look at, but just finding these places, saddles, that's where I start all the time.
So they're both important in their own ways, but which one, thermals or wind, which one do you look for more? So I get if you're on flatland, wind is the be all. But
well, yeah, I mean, well, now you think about this too. I hunt a lot of swamp country, a lot of river bottoms, and you got more humidity in the air there, and more. You got a lot more thermal movement than you think you do. It just don't go to the ground and stay to the ground because the heat moves it around, and as the sun comes up, it pushes it away. I mean, that's just the way it is. Because I've had deer literally bust me down. I would be downwind of a deer on a 2 or 3 mile an hour wind, and the thermal had pushed the scent right to the deer. Now that seems impossible, but I promise you, I've hunted long enough to know that happens. I've seen it happen way too many times.
It seems like with that humidity, those scent molecules just stick in the air. They just hang there.
Hunting high humidity, it's tough. I got to hunt South Florida back in August, and the temperature was averaging about 100 degrees every day, 90+% humidity, and it rained every day, on and off. We'd go and there's no trees because we was hunting in orange grove, so you got to sit on the ground, and it was a challenge. But as soon as the storm would start coming, the wind would blow, so you'd know that, but then when the wind wasn't blowing, the humidity, you could just feel this. You could feel it in the air. You know what I'm saying? So, but hey, look who's back. But no, you've got to learn to play the wind, and you got to learn to play thermals. And if you don't, I don't care what you got, you're gonna get busted sooner or later.
So those hunters that don't have a lot of time to go out and put their mock scrapes out year round, or even anytime really before the season, like say they just get a weekend or two a year that they get to go, can they do a mock scrape while they're out there? And
I make mock scrapes let me tell you this, if I'm out, let's say I got 2 or 3 weekends to hunt, and I'll give you an example. I'm headed up to another state. Let's see, next week, I think so. I have to look at my calendar. Anyway, we're going up to hunt an area I've never been to in my life. The first day I'm going to spend walking, probably 2 or 3 hours that morning. I'm just going to go walk and wait till it gets daylight. Based on what the moon, and that's another thing I hunt by is moon phase. But I think I've already looked at the moon phase, and the deer movement actually is not even going to be till that afternoon. So we're going to get there, let daylight get by us, and then we're going to make a pretty good little round through the woods, and I'm going to look. If I don't see what I'm looking for, I'm going to make some mock scrapes and hang out that first day, simply because I'm on a 3-day hunt. And I got 3 days to try to figure it out. So the first day we're going to scout, throw out some mock scrapes, and see what happens, because that's all you got time to do. Right. But you can believe I'm going to put some scent in the area. Absolutely. Other than mine.
So when you say moon phase, what are the best phases to hunt, and which ones are kind of just meh?
Ooh, y'all asking too many secrets here. I hunt the quarter moon phases. The quarter moon phases. One of my favorite, the full moon being a quarter moon phase, correct? Because it's full. Yeah. It's one of the 4 quarters of the moon. I like hunting 2 days prior, that day, and 2 days afterwards. Why? Because that's when, if you get these moon charts or these best time deer going to feed charts, they're all based on underfoot overhead. If you look at the underfoot, in other words, when the moon is straight under the earth from you or straight over the head from you, that's when deer are moving. I love hunting midday. I love hunting full moon because you can sleep late, get to your stand 9:30, 10 o'clock, hunt till 3 o'clock, go home. Because that's when the deer are going to move based on deer, moon phase. Now, weather dictates a lot of that. If you got a big cold front coming in, maybe they'll move around or things like that. But I'm just going to base 99.9% of my hunting on the moon phase and let the weather do what the weather does, because I can't predict it. You can't predict it. And the weatherman dang sure can't predict what the weather's going to do.
No, I'd love that job, man. You can be wrong 99% of the time.
And get paid a lot of money.
Get paid a lot of money for it.
But no, I mean, if you really start looking at the moon phases and back it up from or go ahead from the full moon, half moon, quarter moon, you're always looking for this straight up moon, straight below moon. And if you look at the major feeding times that all these moon chart people put out, the peak major feed is either straight down or straight up on everybody's chart. So, and there's right now there's so many. I was looking last night just to see how many moon phase charts I could find. I found like 25 different free moon phase guys on just Googling it. And they were all within. I started writing a bunch of them down, but they were all within like 8 or 9 minutes of one another on accuracy. So, there's 25 plus free sites out there that you can find moon and look for major feed times. It works for fish. It works for deer. And I just look at that. And especially going into a new area to scout, I want to go into those woods when the deer aren't up feeding. That's what I want to do.
Yeah. I mean, it's just another tool that you use. You mix that with the weather and the wind, and
there's no tool, there's no scent, there's no broadhead, there's no bow and arrow, there's nothing that's perfect. Nothing's perfect. You just got to play all the averages into your favor and then make the shot. You know what I mean?
Right time, right place.
Right time, right place. Like my daddy always said, if your name ain't on them, you can't do nothing right. If your name is on them, you can't do nothing wrong.
Mm-hmm. I believe that. I've been in spots that, the camera told me every day they're there. You go there?
No deer.
No deer.
Yep.
Second,
that's every year.
You leave your stand,
there's a deer.
There's a deer.
Every time I go home.
Me doing something wrong, my scent could be wrong, my wind. I do the best I can.
Right.
Well, and I don't believe in luck. I believe that luck is called. I believe you spell luck WORK, and I believe the more you work at. I used to honestly believe this, and I think the numbers have changed a little bit, but I think it takes 40 hours of work to kill a big buck. Now, I'm talking about a good material buck. Now, have I gone into the woods before, brand new woods, go out and scout a spot, put up a stand, be there an hour and shoot a big deer? Absolutely. It's happened to me several times. But more so than not, I've had to spend days on the stand, hours in the stand, frustration in the stand, failure in the stand, getting busted in the stand, moving my stand, and then kill a good deer. Mm-hmm. So on overall average, I personally think it takes 40 hours of your time to kill a big buck.
Yeah.
Not an absolute no.
No.
But I think you got to pay your price, pay your dues.
Yep. I definitely believe in that.
Well, maybe it'll be the year for me and John to get one.
Yeah, we're due, Anthony. We're due. It's been a few years.
I think Anthony's going to kill a big deer this year because here's something else too. You got to, me and Anthony talking in a private group on social media and Messenger and everything, and they talk about football. I couldn't tell you who even played in the Super Bowl last year, much less won it, because I focused my thought on deer hunting and turkey hunting and elk. I focus on hunting, and other people focus on other things, but I focus so much on it and helping other people focus on it and talk about it and think about it that, I put the odds in my favor because that's what I do. I've since January 1, I have probably spent 100 days in the woods. Minimum.
That's a lot.
Minimum. I've been in the woods 100 days.
Yeah.
And I may have not been there daylight to dark, but I've spent 100 days in the woods or more, minimum, since the first of the year. Checking trail cameras, walking trails, going to different states, looking at other people's properties, giving my opinion, what I think about this. I'll give you an example. I was over in Mississippi a few months ago, and these guys wanted me to come look at their property, and I'm not telling you, that was one of the prettiest places to deer hunt I've ever seen in the South, period. They had the prettiest food plots, the prettiest box stands, the prettiest everything, the best roads. And they got all these giant deer on film, and they're not killing them. They just couldn't figure out why they're not killing them. It took me about 30 minutes to figure out why they wasn't killing these deer. because they ride their side by sides and park it in the garage just 20 yards or 10 yards from the box stand they're getting in. They've got those deer so conditioned that they're going to ride that buggy in there, get in that stand, ride out at 9 o'clock, ride back in at 3 o'clock, and 30-something people are hunting like that on this beautiful several thousand acre lease that, this hunting club they got. And I got out and walked circles around all these food plots, and 30 to 50 yards outside those food plots was the best buck sign I'd ever seen anywhere. And I showed a couple of guys this. I said, y'all come go with me. I'll show you what I've discovered. And they absolutely couldn't believe the amount of giant buck sign just out of sight and downwind of the predominant winds of those food plots. It was amazing. Wow. Every food plot had major buck sign on the downwind side of the predominant wind in that area. Every one of them.
Wow. What is your determining factors to determine that there's a big buck in there?
Sign.
Like,
I think when you go find a rub, a 6-8 inch tree that's been rubbed all the way around, okay, I don't think a spike does that. I don't think a 4-point does that. I don't think a small immature buck. But when you find multiple trees that's been tore up like that, and you find giant deer tracks, and I try to do, and I like to try to do all of my best scouting in February and in March, because all the trails are wide open then. There's no foliage in the way. There's the deer back to a very calm state, and they're still working. They're still checking they're still checking their scrapes heavily, even in a month or so after the rut, to try to catch a late breeding doe that didn't get bred. They still checking by there, and you'll see a lot of big tracks. I mean, that's what we found was big deer tracks, a lot of big rubs, a lot of leftover scrapes. Man, there was one area we found, there was like 5 scrapes in a 20-yard area, and every one of them was the size of a pickup truck hood, where they just, really had activity. But, and then I taught those guys into moving their cameras out to the woods and get them off the food plots. And then one guy, man, it was incredible what we found. And I had to talk him into going and putting a ladder stand in there because, he's so conditioned to hunt out that box stand. But I said, man, if you want to kill it, I said, you got some big deer here. And they got giant deer. They got 150 deer all over their property and better, which I think are giants. I mean, anywhere in the world, I'll shoot a 150 if he walks out. I ain't to the point that I wouldn't do that, but
I'm taking 120s.
But what I'm saying is, if you got that many people hunting and nobody's killing big deer, and you got big deer on film, you got to do something different. You got to get out of the box, and the box stand is the box you got to get out of.
What's the definition of insanity?
Yeah, repeating this
over and over again.
Yeah.
But now they have sent me some pictures that I can't show. Yeah. But the one guy, he's blown away with the pictures he's got. I finally talked him into doing some mock scrapes, and he's been doing them now a couple of weeks, and he's blown away that what he's seen in his mock scrapes just in the last 2 weeks.
So here, I actually have some pictures of deer that have come to our mock scrapes with using your stuff. If you want to see them.
Sure, throw them up. I love you. Oh, that's a beautiful deer. Now, that is a mature buck, even though he's a 6-point. He would not make it out of – if he walked into bow range with me, I would definitely shoot that deer.
Oh, yeah.
That to me, that's majestic. It don't get no more majestic than that deer.
Anthony has another picture. There's like 4 or 5 bucks standing there, and they're all about that size. And then mine, this is the one I have on my mock scrape over there.
And why wouldn't you shoot that deer?
Oh no! So these two were actually on the list because they were our target deer for velvet season. That's why I have the pictures up here. That was my number one target. That one was Anthony's number one target.
Man,
they eluded us. I had a camera malfunction like 2 weeks before velvet season. The batteries died way quicker than they should have, and I lost all information. Technology.
I know. There, you can't live with it without it.
I agree.
No, I hope y'all get those deer. I'm telling you, Anthony had shared those deer with me earlier, and man, I'm telling you, people, I wouldn't shoot that 6 point. Why not? He's a mature deer. He's never going. I don't think that deer will ever do anything beyond that. But I'm not no biologist. Don't claim to be.
But look at the belly sag on it. Like
I know
it. Like that is a.
Look at the sway in his back. I mean, that's an old deer. I think that deer is on the downhill side. But there again, you never know. But it's not like he don't have good food in that area. So he's got the age and he definitely got the nutrition. I just think I got a deer that and I know it's the same deer. People, how you know it's the same deer? Because he's got a white stocking on his left leg. 2 years ago, he was like a 26-inch wide 9 point. Now he's like a 18-inch 8 point. Because he's probably 7.5 years old and he's going down. But at one time, and what's funny is, in the 4 years I've had that deer on camera, I've got one daylight picture of him, and he's on the national forest, and he comes through there, and I don't know. Listen, I've got cameras all over that country, and in this one spot, I get his picture irregularly, no pattern to it. Believe me, if anybody would have killed that deer when he was in his prime, everybody in that part of the world would know about it because it's on public land. But who knows where that deer goes and how he survived? Because I'm telling you, I probably got. No, I can tell you, I got
that old by being stupid.
I got 7 cameras in that area that I think that deer are, and I've moved them around, and I've only got him at that one spot.
Yeah, you don't get that old by being dumb.
Honestly,
one last question. How often do you refresh your mock scrapes?
Depends on the weather, but no sooner than 7 days, but I try to do it every 10. I try to slip in there every 10 days and swap camera cards, and because I need to get into the cell camera business, but there again, I like just looking at the area about every 7 to 10 days because I'll approach it from a different way. And it gives you opportunity to look, see if there's been other deer movement, fresh rubs, anything like that in the area. Because sometimes what I like to do too, especially in the national forest, if I go into a new area, and matter of fact, I'm supposed to go this weekend into some new area, and I like to set up a triangle, 3 different mock scrapes in like a 30, 60, 90-yard triangle, and let the deer tell me which one they like the best. And then I cut the licking branches off the other 2, which if you cut the licking branch off a mock scrape, they're going to leave it. They'll leave it.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. They'll leave it. I've tested that theory and proven that theory with cameras. I've had a good mock scrape going, go cut the limb, take the limb, put it somewhere else, and absolutely, you can absolutely make them stop.
That's great.
Like I said, y'all think about football, and I think about other ways to mess with deer. I love messing with deer and seeing what I can make them do, and them always. I'm 62 years old, and I've yet to not learn something new about a deer. Every time I go try to trick one of them, they'll end up tricking you too. I think they play the game back with you.
Yeah,
they're not dumb.
And that's why I try never to go to a stand at the same time, never the same way. And I'll tell you another philosophy that I live by. And if I set up a stand, let's say I set up a stand on the forest or in the public, or even on private ground, don't matter. I'll hunt that stand a morning, afternoon, morning, or my favorite way to hunt a stand is evening, morning, evening. And then I'm gone for a week. I won't even go back in there for at least 7 to 10 days to hunt it again, even if it's the hottest stand in the woods. Now, I may move down a ridge 80, 90, 100 yards. Either way, I may move across the drain, go hunt a saddle adjacent to it that's 100 yards away, but I'm not going to bother that stand for another week. And typically using that 3-hunt scenario on the first or second hunts when I shoot. Rarely do I shoot a deer on that 3rd hunt. But normally it's the first afternoon or the first morning you shoot the deer.
When you're moving down the ridge to hunt, again, like after you've hunted that one 2 or 3 times, what kind of stand are you using over there? Are you taking a climber or are you?
Man, I hunt on the ground. I hunt out of a climber. I hunt whatever the terrain will let me hunt. I mean, if I got good wood, good trees that I can get in a climber, I'm gonna take a climber. If I don't, I can't tell you the deer. And I ain't talking about sitting in a blind. I'm talking about sitting on the ground on a stool, and I cut brush and I try to back up against a tree or a log or a brush top where I got a couple of shooting lanes only in the direction I want, and then I cut brush and stick in front of me. I've killed a lot of deer sitting on a stool on the ground.
That's my favorite way. I like to just walk in.
And the thing too is it's a very mobile way to kill it. I mean, have you ever been walking through the woods and all of a sudden you just come up on this honey hole, all this beautiful sand, and you're like, and there ain't no tree or nothing like this. You can climb. Hey, get on the ground. Just sit down and make you a little makeshift blind out of. Now I have come across a couple little products I'm using this year. Matter of fact, when I was down in Florida, I got this little pop-up blind. It actually looks like an 8-foot umbrella, but it only weighs 7 pounds, and you can pop it up and get behind it. And I like it because it's very portable. You can roll it up like an umbrella and then stick it. I mean, it's nothing. And then when you get there, pop it up, hunt behind it.
Biggest deer
I still cut brush and put all around me. I still do the brush.
Oh yeah, biggest deer I ever killed. I was just walking around scouting for a spot to put a vet, and walked over a hill, and he was chasing the doe up the other side.
I mean, I've killed some really dandy deer in my life, just walking, scouting new areas, and all of a sudden you walk into the zone, and just back up, sit down, and hunt. But there again, I personally won't hunt it, but the morning, evening.
Yeah.
And then I let it rest. Because don't let the deer learn so many people like those guys that went scouting. They do the same thing often enough that the deer figure it out. Or they get accustomed to those vehicles coming in and out, and they know not to go over there.
Right.
I don't think deer have great reasoning ability because, like out in Texas, you can shoot a deer on a feeder today, and there'll be another feeder there tomorrow. And then you shoot him and another on the next day. So they don't have great reasoning ability, but they got great survival instincts, especially on public land.
Right. Well, Dan, we've reached our hour limit on our podcast. We thank you for coming on today, man.
Man, it's a privilege to be here. I really am grateful y'all invited me. But please share that code with all your guests and all your members, and just, tell them to go to our website and click on that military thing and, fill out that military authentication form, and then they can buy products all day long from now on. And that's all the products on there, T-shirts, our scents, anything for 15% off. And we appreciate every person, first responder and military person out there. We really appreciate y'all.
And like I said, give us some addresses to where we can send some care packages to help, some of that hurricane relief.
I will call y'all later today with that information.
Okay.
Appreciate it. All right, everybody.
Well, thank you
so much, for watching
man.
Another episode of Outdoors with MSA. Until next week, we're out of here.